Have you ever walked out into a crowded room and yet felt all alone, as if nobody sees you or maybe even believes you? Maybe balancing your life and your work is so overwhelming that you're not even sure if you believe in yourself anymore. I balanced myself on heels, and there was this signature sound of my designer high heel shoes that echoed in the hospital corridors where no stilettos had ever roamed before. Click, clack, click, 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 click. Doctor. It was a sound and a signature to my colleagues, nurses, and patients that she had arrived. Brain doctor, epilepsy specialist, and never to recover chocolate addict. I entered neurology at a time when less than 5% of neurologists were women. In fact, MDRT welcomed your first female members more than 20 years before the neurology community did so here in the United States. Woo! I knew very quickly to keep my head down, my heels high, and stay laser focused. But the truth of the matter was that I was really overwhelmed and sleep deprived, trying to keep up with 80 to 90 hour work weeks. I felt so alone. My single prayer each and every morning was that nobody would discover my shame and my loneliness that I was hiding underneath this starched white lab coat. Where are all my fellow sisters in the audience today here at MDRT? Woo! I want to congratulate you on being a female leader here at MDRT, in the financial community and in your own community from all over the world. We are at an unprecedented time in history here in the United States and around the world discussing the rights of women in the workplace. And if you've also ever had a moment where you felt really overwhelmed or lonely, I hope that you will remember my message today to take a pause. Because when we take a pause, my intention is that you will find your voice and stand in your strength. You know, since my lonely time, almost 10 years ago, I've learned that I'm not the only success-driven female or male professional who feels like trapped in this life that you created for yourself. I mean, nobody is immune to feeling lonely or unhappy while the whole world may think you're like wildly successful. And I'm here with the solution, and that is the power of pause. You know, we often pause and set a really big goal for ourselves, like being able to attend the annual MDRT meeting, or losing weight, or doubling your sales goals from last year's. We stress ourselves out to reach that goal, and then you succeed and think, am I happy now? The happiness may stay with us for a single moment, and then we find ourselves in that same lonely or unhappy place again, only to start that stress and success cycle all over again. Being stuck in the stress and success cycle doesn't only keep us unhappy, but it's dangerous to our health. The stress can kill, and I should know, not because I'm a doctor, but because the stress almost killed me. You know, my journey starts back to when I was a full-time practicing doctor in clinic, and I remember one day there was a knock at the door from my nurse. Dr. Mushtaq, I'm sorry to interrupt your full clinic, but your mother is on the phone and she said it's really urgent. Oh my God, I immediately started to panic. Like many of you in the audience, one of my roles I pride myself on is being a dutiful daughter to elderly parents. I was so worried that something had happened to her or my father. I ran to the front of the clinic and I picked up the phone and I'm like, hello mom, is everything okay? Romie, beta, oh, we finally got you on the phone. All your aunties came over for chai ceremony today. Everybody, I finally got Romie on the phone. Say hello. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, look at you, all grown up, a doctor. Hey, girl, did you find a husband in the hospital today? Oh my God, I quickly realized they weren't in trouble. I was. Mom, I'm in the middle of work and everybody is staring. I'm going to call you back. No. Your aunties and I have an important message for you. We were discussing that you have missed several family meetings and you're very stressed lately. We have come to consensus that you must meditate. You call me in the middle of the workday to tell me to meditate? Okay, I need to go. I am a really busy, successful doctor. Okay, Mrs. Busy. You go and your auntie Deepa is going to call you at 7:30 tonight with further meditation instructions. Everybody say bye to Romie. Bye, darling. Oh, good luck, beta. We're so proud of you, doctor. Now go and find a husband today, for God's sake. Oh my God. I sunk down in my 5-inch heels. I felt like I had just been spiritually assaulted. So if you're sitting here going, why would Jim and the annual MDRT planning committee invite a brain doctor to tell us to be mindful and meditate? I'm going to ask you this morning. Pause, breathe, and trust that there is a message that your mind needs to hear or something that your heart needs to feel. I didn't listen to the wisdom of my mother or my aunties, and I kept fighting in that stress and success cycle until I started to have severe chest pain. Initially, the doctors couldn't figure out what was happening with me. They thought it was stress and acid reflux disease. They said, stop the chocolate and take antacids. It didn't work, so I stopped the antacids and restarted the chocolate. I only realized that I was in danger when I would wake up and I couldn't breathe anymore. I couldn't swallow, and I was choking on my own saliva and vomit. At this point, I got diagnosed with a rare medical disorder called achalasia, and it was so severe I needed emergent surgery. I remember laying in the hospital gurney in pre-op holding, and I wasn't worried that I might have cancer or end up permanently disabled. Instead, I slipped into this darker place. How did I let my so-called successful life plummet to this low point? After successful surgery, I listened. I started light yoga and meditation. And with the meditation, I noticed that my post-op chest pain was starting to feel better and my mood lighter. This sent me on a journey around the world to Asia and South America to learn the role of mindfulness and meditation and healing. And then I returned home here to the United States to find decades of medical research on the power of meditation and mindfulness-based practices in healing for both our brain and our physical health. I knew I had to share this message with other driven, success-oriented professionals so that we can together break the stress and the success cycle. So I'm here today to ask you, could you keep an open mind and heart on taking a pause? This lesson of pause is in alignment with your MDRT core concept of the whole person to achieve balance in your life. Because when we pause, we shift our brains to this place of calm and feeling back in control of the situation again. You see, when we're stuck in our stress and success cycle, it negatively impacts our brain function. There's a region of your brain called the temporal lobe that's responsible for all of your memories and your emotions. And inside the temporal lobe is your amygdala. I call this your airport traffic control center of your brain. It processes all your incoming words and sensations and shifts them into memories and actions. But when we're stuck in the stress and success cycle, the airport traffic control center of our brain freezes and it creates this stress response. Now, as if your brain is hijacked and you can't even think clearly. Emotions are going to start overruling any form of rational thinking. And in this state of a brain freeze, we become reactive. You run the risk of sending that angry email, saying the wrong words in a sales pitch, or even starting a conflict with a loved one or a colleague. To take control of the situation, we must first take control of our brains. And that secret is in the power of pause. When we pause through controlled breathing, meditation, and other mindfulness-based techniques, we shift from a brain freeze to a state of calm and controlled thinking. And when we're in this state of calm and controlled thinking, we break that stress and success cycle. And we move forward, consistently achieving all of our goals in a high-performing state. So now how do we take this power of pause into our overscheduled lives? You may think like me, you don't have time to meditate. And don't worry, my aunties are not going to call you. When we look at the successful psychological profiles of high-achieving individuals, they have one thing in common. They understand that in order to speed up, we must slow down. Yes, in order to speed up, we must first slow down. And we slow down with the power of pause in these 3 simple steps. Number 1, disconnect to reconnect. Number 2, perform a brain dump. And number 3, take a breath break. Let's start with step 1, disconnect to reconnect. This is the first step, is to disconnect from our digital devices. I know that can create a gasp in all of us, because in our hyper-connected world, our expectations are that we must be available at all times. I'm going to ask you to power down all of your electronics about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. That blue light from all of your digital devices stimulates the back of our eye, and it tells the airport traffic control center in our brain, girl, wake up, it's time to start thinking and analyzing again. And then the blue light from our screen sends us into a brain freeze. Critical states of important neurochemicals that make us feel good and sleep, like serotonin and melatonin, just drop. This leads to difficulty sleeping and pushes us right back into that high stress state. So instead, shut the digital devices down about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime, and then go into step 2, perform a brain dump. Do you ever feel that you've got thoughts running a marathon inside your brain when you're trying to fall asleep? I certainly do. But by pausing to be present with these thoughts, we stop the racing thoughts from running us crazy in our minds. So I ask you to use pen and paper and write down all of these racing thoughts on a list. We're now allowing our brain permission to stop working and rest. And last but not least, we go to step 3, take a brain break. When you find yourself in a brain freeze, we take a breath break. In fact, I would be so honored if all of you could join us, both here at the convention center and the live stream around the world, in a family MDRT pause, so we can feel the collective power of a pause as a group. Are you ready? So I'm going to ask you, take a moment to close your eyes. And if you don't want to close your eyes, you can just find a focal point in your lap to look down into. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Hold the breath. Open your mouth and sigh out the breath. Beautiful. I'm going to add some counting to that. Inhale through the nose. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale deeply, expanding your belly outwards. 2, 3. Hold the breath for 1. And exhale deeply. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3. Hold the breath. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. I'll mind the time. Continue these deep breaths at your own pace, inhaling through the nose, holding the breath, and a deep exhale, and you'll hear my voice when the meditation time is done. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Continue the deep inhale. Pause and exhale. With that next exhale, bring your awareness back into your body and wiggle your toes in your shoes. And now I want you to take a moment and feel the pause and the energy in this room. As you open up your eyes, I'm going to ask you to ponder what the power of pause could do for your stress management, your focus, and your performance. Yes, pause. I get asked almost every day, Romie, do you really meditate every day? Yes, I do. Meditation is medicine for my whole person. Meditation has become a key component of my plan for maintaining health and staying alive 8 years after life-saving surgery. I'm asking all of you, my MDRT family, to consider meditation to pause and realize the power of yourself as a whole person. And by chance, if you're sitting here today feeling all alone on your life journey, my intention is this, is that when you take a breath to pause, you understand that we are never truly alone. I'm Dr. Romie, and I'm asking all of you to join the movement and pause. Thank you.